Takes on takes, juice bar style. You already know what time it is. Number one, let's jump right into it. Tyreek Hill. Is he leaving Miami? Is he not? Dolphins go 8-9. He blows a gasket after the game in the locker room, and I quote, "I'm opening the door. I'm out, bro. It was great playing here. But at the end of the day, I got to do what's best for my career. I'm too much of a competitor to be just out there." I will say this. If you watch the video, he goes, "I'm opening the door." And he says, like, "I'm out, bro. Like, I'm done with this interview."
You think it was like a...
I truly believe he was saying, I'm out, bro. I'm done with this interview. And he said, "I'm out, bro." And then, like, he was about to leave. And then as he's walking out, he says a couple more things and then leaves. I don't think he was saying, you wouldn't say, "I'm opening the door. Actually, I'm out, bro."
Yeah.
He was like, "I'm out, bro. Like, I'm leaving." Go watch the video. But either way, what he was saying was, "I'm not happy. We didn't win enough games. I didn't get the ball enough." If you remember, he started the season with that police arrest, hurt a wrist. He was dealing with that throughout the season. But what do you think about him coming out and saying what he said after the game and him being extremely frustrated overall, not going back in? Mike McDaniel, singular, was told that Tyreek Hill is unavailable the rest of the game. He didn't leave the field of play, but he refused to go in. What's the difference?
Thank God I'm not a Dolphins fan, because this team is a Madden roster. They're built like a Madden roster, and now they're giving quotes like one of the players in the virtual room. This is breaking Wedding Crashers rule number 6. He's drawing attention to himself in a negative way. I say it all the time. 3 of the last 4 games, he's gone under 40 yards. No accountability. It's just a classic wide receiver. He's not getting the ball. He's not getting his shine. He's not getting his touches. He's probably got an incentive-based contract, so he lost out on cheddar. And he's furious. He just got smoked at MetLife. He's a warm-weather cat in January in New York, furious off, again, another lackluster Miami season. McDaniel is an innovative play caller. I got a lot of questions about him as a head coach. I do not think this guy is a head coach. I don't see it on the podium. He's making jokes. You're losing games and making jokes. Where's Bill Parcells? I just don't understand it. I don't understand. I forget the GM off the top of my head. It's Greer. I don't know how they draft strategically year in, year out with any conceivable reason for how a football team is built. I think they got to blow it up. I don't see them blowing it up because that's that nice little, well, Tua missed 4 or 5 games, so we'd have 2-3 more wins. They don't block for their quarterback, and they don't get to the quarterback. And you even allow, to put a button on it, a guy like this to speak like that. It's just Harbaugh wouldn't have a guy like that speaking like that. And that's like why the Chiefs probably let him walk.
You know what's interesting is that the older I get, I understand the old man view. So Colin Cowherd is famous for saying, like, "I don't want my quarterback wearing backwards hats." Things of that nature, right? When you're winning and the offense is working, everything looks good when you have on the Versace glasses on the sideline and you're wearing off-white sneakers and your pants are pulled up and you're buddy with the guys and you're the young, cool guy. But when it's not working, it's like, yo, get this bozo out of here, right? That's why when you look at a guy like Harbaugh, he's a dork. He's kind of boring. He's got glasses. He wears khakis every day. Whistle, hat, looks the same every day.
Voluntary tuck.
Yes, and voluntary tuck. So the optics of that translate into like how you want your team to be represented.
But Sean, this guy's the leader. He's the leader. Like,
that's what I mean. Well, that's what I mean. That's what I'm getting at. Is
he aware though?
It's harder for people to take you seriously when you present yourself like that as the head coach when the offense isn't clicking at 100%. Now, look, they had 8 wins. They lost Tua for a good stretch of the year. They're in a really tough division. They're in the AFC.
But that's exactly how they're going to justify it down there in the 305. They're going to come back. They're going to go 9-8.
So you'd fire him?
Yes. Dude,
wow.
I do not think that the Dolphins have any culture. I think they're a fun offensive team that has won 2 games above 500 competition in 2 years. That to me is coaching. You're picking on teams under 500. You're getting sauced against the adults in the room. How many years are we going to go on? Are his glasses even real? I don't know. As a context wearer, I question.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's what I'm
just
getting
feel
at.
like
But like you thinking that is what I'm getting at. The guy's running this gimmick offense. His glasses are probably fake. He's wearing off-white shoes. And Tyreek has 2 catches over the last 3.5 games. Whatever. That's what I'm getting at. So I don't know if I would fire him. One other thing that you could bring up is that Mike McDaniel also inherited Tua. That's not his guy.
he's done an excellent job, like with what he's had. But after this year, again, this is your wide receivers, your leader. Like go back to Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Tyreek comes to town. They didn't even really have a leader because Flores had come to town. He flopped. Tua was arguably on the bust conversation at that point. And now it's all fine and dandy, but I just can't look past. You can't beat good teams. If you can't beat good teams, what are we doing?
I wouldn't fire Mike. I think offensively,
You keep Tyreek, no problem.
man, it's a personal thing. You'd have to talk. You have to talk to him, and have a conversation about it.
Maybe it is less on McDaniel and more on the GM. But who pays top dollar for 2 wide receivers when you can't protect your quarterback? I mean, that's a mind-numbing decision.
You got to build inside going out.
They paid Waddle, dude.
All right, Ravens fighting back words for Pickens Steelers. In a video posted by the Ravens outlet, Baltimore, from the Baltimore locker room, the Ravens were trying a new cologne Lamar Jackson is putting out, and in the background, 2 players can be heard saying, "This cologne smells like George Pickens."
That's
One
crazy.
player said, "Soft." Another responded, "Yeah, just like that." That's amazing. That's the first I've heard of that was when I read it on the script. How do you feel about that? George Pickens is a little soft.
It's an unbelievable AFC North
Soft is what
neck,
I would
quite
say.
frankly.
I would say sensitive. He's very sensitive. Everything is a big deal. The world's falling down every time he doesn't get the ball thrown.
Well, it's just ironic that he's been in more fights than he has 100-yard outings, and he had boxing gloves on in that last week. Guy couldn't catch a beach ball.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is just great AFC North banter. I have heard Lamar likes a particular cologne, though.
You know what it means for me? They're not worried about those boys over there at all. If you are going against a squad in the playoffs, division rival, you would never, ever say anything like that if you know it could get picked up on any type of microphones. It's almost like you're saying that and want it to get out.
Doesn't this help for bulletin board material in favor of the Steelers, though?
Yeah, of course it's
Like,
bullet.
I'm looking at +10 in a much different way now.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm looking at it like these dudes aren't worried about these guys at all, and they're getting ready to.
Yeah, but if that was the NBA,
they know they
this
have
is
these
football
guys numbered.
psychology, though. Look at Lamar's numbers against Tomlin. They ain't great.
No, they're not good.
I know.
They got a big win the other day, but historically they've been bad.
Yeah, it was his first win, I believe, against Tomlin.
So you don't mind?
I mean, I think this is just good fun.
It's just fun.
It's good fun.
Good fodder.
AFC North fun. Maybe I'll purchase the Lamar cologne.
Well, my question is, who uses the word soft to describe a cologne?
That's actually a good question.
Yeah.
But
So it's
you
like
can
someone
get
set up.
Softer. It's not a harsh smell. It's a soft.
Well, he says he wears
subtle.
He wears.
Soft and subtle.
Doesn't Lamar wear perfume? He was like.
It's
he
like
was saying he wears perfume.
It's like a unisex cologne too. So they were sort of like asking them like, how do you think this is for you? Who's this for? And
they said
then
it's
somebody in the
Pickens.
background's like, I think it's for George Pickens. That kind of thing.
I mean, that's just incredible comedy right there.
It is.
It's just great comedy.
Or does George Pickens smell nice?
It could
All
be
right.
that too.
Let's keep it pushing.
Kaylin Clark was asked about the current state of the NBA on the Kelsey's Brothers podcast. They talked about viewership and its decline. Her thoughts were the physicality of the league has changed a lot. Maybe people want more beef and physicality. People think it's gone soft, but I think it's also the skill level has just changed. That's what's great about basketball. It's always evolving. What a well-trained media answer. That was well done from Kaylin Clark there. What are your thoughts overall on viewership and everything else in between?
She's got a lot of truth to that. I mean, we're about the same age. We grew up with a lot of different styles of ball, working inside out. The paint was a lot more prevalent, a lot more physicality. I think there was maybe a little more rivalries you can make a case. Not everyone was loaded. I think everyone being wealthy is a big part of it. It's really tough to be angry when you're making $250 a night. And then in Texas, non-state income tax. But, like, in all seriousness, I mean, Draymond celebrating LeBron's 40th birthday. Like, I can't even fathom Jordan inviting his enemies to his 40th birthday. But they're not enemies. They co-own tequila together, and that's just the NBA. So, like, as a fan, yeah, I want more WWE storylines. I want Embiid to hate Giannis. I want, the Pacers to come to New York and get absolutely cooked. Like, we need more Trae Young rolling the dice, but don't do it at the Garden, do it elsewhere type stuff. And I don't know if that's on the players or that might be more on how you package the product, because there's no short of talent. I mean, how many guys can put the ball in the basket? How many guys can knock down a three? It's actually incredible to watch the spacing. I think there's a lot of fun stuff to watch about the game. But I think if you're just a casual fan, you're like, why am I just watching three-point shooting when it should be more than that? But I think we got a too many games issue, if I'm being honest. 22 games too much.
I mean, on the beef topic specifically, is the WNBA more the league for that now? Is it more of a this league type of thing?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think there's teams that, I think they're doing a better job of maybe, and not maybe in the best way, but they're still doing a good job of creating rivalries or creating, storylines with less teams too.
Yeah, I agree with the games issue. 82 is a ton of games in the regular season. You have to have something to gravitate towards during that 82-game run, whether that be rivalries, whether that be angst between this player, that player, and teams. So, yeah, I think that would do it overall the league a good service if there was more of that. But you can't fabricate that. It has to be legitimate, and the new culture just doesn't breed that as much, as you mentioned, with everybody getting paid, everybody being repped by the same agent or agency.
Like, Shaq's still going at Dwight Howard. Still.
Yeah.
Like, not saying that exact thing in the league, but something like new big on the block getting cooked by the old big. Like, there just was that from the 90s to the 00s, even the 00s to the 10s. And, like, there's no Kevin Garnett right now. And, like, Draymond kind of was that for a few years on a winning team, which was excellent. Now it's like we got a lot of Euros. Euros aren't as angry at the world.
We're missing that for sure. I agree 100%. Yeah. Takes on takes.